I showed my daughter what a bargain was today. It meant a great deal to her. Hello everybody, welcome to the video. My name's Phil again. Well, not a Phil again, it was the same Phil as it was last time. But how are you all? Hopefully you're all doing very well. I ask that every time. Sometimes I get a response. Sometimes you tell me to go and fuck myself. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind. But yes, is it on, boobies? Yes, so welcome to the video. I want to talk about violence in video games today. So I'm not going to be showing many games, just a couple on my table, maybe one or two. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about this because it's a big thing that I'm interested in, and also we'll have a little bit of chat as well. Yeah, so it's all going to be very good. But what was I going to say? I've forgotten. First of all, I'm going to go live tomorrow night. I've got it scheduled on the channel, so if you're interested, stay tuned. If you want me to do some chat, we'll have a bit of a chat. You can ask me questions, I'll answer the questions. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what I've got these fucking things as well. I still haven't eaten these, thank fuck. But yeah, I mean, if you want me to do that, that's fine. A little bit of windy pops right there for you as well. A little bit of a special exclusive window pops. That's when you do the windy pops up against the window, leaves a smog trail, but it stinks. And tonight I had some kind of chicken lattice thing and some potatoes. It was lovely with a cheese sauce. I'm such a dirty boy. But how are how are you all today? Hopefully you're good. And yeah, I want to talk about violence in video games because I think it's an interesting topic to go into, and it gives me a rest from showing me games. All right. The only other thing I ever show is me knob, and I'm definitely not doing that on YouTube. That's on my OnlyFans that I have. Not really. Does anybody know who Nick Avocado is? The big fat guy needs to shit. Did you know he has an OnlyFans? Who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? That has got to be the most disgusting thing you'll ever see. That'd be like looking through a microscope and noticing a slug as an arsehole. That would be horrendous. But anyway, let's go into detail. So I want to go. So in order to start this story about violence in video games, I've decided I'm going to go right back. I'm going to take you back in time. We're going to be going 88 point something miles an hour. All the shit and the Marty and the oh God, great Scott, and all that shit, and we're going to go back to 1980. Fuck up the bum. 1980, fuck you up the bum, which was a special year where everybody didn't care, and the AIDS was invented apparently by something. I don't know where that came from. Beer again. Banks's, a local brewer. Lovely. So yeah, we're going to go back, and there was a game that was released, and I'll see if you oh, well, there's no point in me seeing if you can guess it because this is a video. But it was Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat came out for the SNES, and it came out for the Mega Drive, and it was the first game that made all the censors go, hang on, what the fuck is this? The violence in video games, really not very heard of, and then all of a sudden this game sort of surfaced and everybody went, okay, we've got to look into this. This is a dangerous game to play. Okay. And what was so bad about it was simply because there was blood and there was fatalities, which we all know. We've all seen Mortal Kombat. So I'm going back to about 19, I'm saying the 80s, probably the early 90s, about 1991, 1992, Mortal Kombat 1. Obviously they were released and they were ported on different consoles, and in order to get around this blood thing, SNES didn't have any blood in it. Mega Drive did, but you had to unlock it. There was all different kinds of rules. Then obviously they went on, Mortal Kombat 2, there was lots of blood. So all of a sudden we started to open up a floodgate, because what they said was, we're going to ban these games. And then they turned around and said, hang on, why don't we just censor the games? Why don't we just censor them? Why don't we just start to put little kind of age restrictions on certain games? Which is where your age restricting came. Over the years, we've had a lot of controversial games come out. Remember Grand Theft Auto? The first Grand Theft Auto? Not the one we have today, but this one. I remember this coming out in 1998. And absolutely shat themselves. I remember this absolutely blowing people's minds because it's nothing special to look at. I'll put some footage of this on the screen, but this is nothing special to look at. But it was the theme of the game. You drove whatever you wanted. You could kill people who were walking on the street. You could shoot innocent people. You could carjack. You could run away from the police. And there was also language, which we'd never seen in games, to be honest, really. Um, there was also Duke Nukem, which came out. Doom. All these kind of games. So violence was coming, but it wasn't not like that. No, not like Dirty Boy, but it was on its way in. And from my point of view, that's where I want to start the story because this was when I was a kid. Anything with a little bit of blood was like, whoa, there's blood, you know. Um, and I'm trying to think of any other kind of really important games. I mean, I'm not being funny, but back in the 80s, they did like if it was an R-rated game, R-rated film, it had a game on the on the Nintendo or the Sega. I remember Alien 3, Predator, Terminator. What's it called? Total Recall. What the fuck? All these films that were like really, really, really gory, heavy 18 plus movies back then, just released for the kids to play on the NES. You know, as if they'd never seen the movie, and yet games were kind of dumbed down. There was no violence in those games, in fact, very little. There was no blood. There was nothing like that. But films seem to be more heavy. Um, Now we kind of move and shift into the future, and I've noticed that freedom of speech has become a very much a oh, you can't say, you dirty boy, you're not allowed to say that. But violence, no, fill your fucking boots. Porn, who gives a shit? But don't say naughty things about people's genders or anything. And I find it quite unique because as we went through those years, we went through like Tomb Raider was considered violent. In fact, I think it was banned in a few countries. Tomb Raider. Who remembers Manhunt for the PlayStation 2? And I said Hunt. That was Rockstar Games again. And your job was to kill people in ridiculously unique ways for a snuff film. It was being recorded, and the longer you kind of pressed a button down before you attacked as like a sneak attack, the more gruesome the death. So you could kill anyone with a paper bag all the way up to a hammer, a knife, and it was pretty heavy. I think that was banned in a lot of countries as well. The Suffering was another one that was very gory. Um, but then just put it. I mean, I suppose I'm talking more about this because a new game's come out. I don't know if you, and I will talk about this probably on the live stream tomorrow because Body Cam is the new game that's just come out, and it looks real. Now, how much more graphic can you get than a game that looks like real life and you are killing people in a real life setting? It looks real. And it really does. It's Unreal Engine 5. It looks absolutely bang on. It looks real. Insane. I just couldn't believe it when I first saw the footage. I was like, for God's sake, is this real? Has he just committed a crime? I must call a constable immediately and have them arrest him. Forsooth! And then I realised it was just a game and calmed down. It looked like something from the Ukraine or something. It was horrendous. It was just these guys gunning each other down, and the way they move, the way they fall, the way the gun recoil moves, the camera footage, just the sounds. It just looks absolutely next level. And it's not to be mistaken for the other one that took the internet by storm. I think it was called Unrecorded, which is another one that's very similar to that, where you are literally killing people in like a team deathmatch way, and it's really, really real. And I was like, wow, this is insanely graphic. Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombats are just they're just insane. Very heavily sexualized games like Stellar Blade have now come out, and just we've all just gone, yeah, you know, Fallout 4, obviously, with things where you can blow people into smithereens. You've got plots that come straight from a James Bond film. You've got just some horrendous stuff. You've got, I mean, GTA 5 is probably one of the most graphic things ever. There's some of the plots look like they should come from Sopranos. You know what I mean? It's the graphics and the gore and the element of censoring has completely removed, and yet I feel like it's done a flip. Like back when we were kids, horror films were way more visceral. Like they were really horrible. Whereas today, they really struggle to get an 18 rating. It really seems like whatever you do is fine, just don't say anything. And it's like you're not allowed to say most things. You're not allowed to make fun of anyone. You're not allowed to say anything that kind of like, rips into anybody, or you're not allowed to misgender anyone or misappropriate anybody because you might get into trouble if you do so. But violence is fair game. You do whatever you want, even show tits. I'm not being funny, but fuck me, I would have had 97 wanks on the spot if I'd have put my Mega Drive on and there was a little pair of pixelated titties on the screen. I remember Duke Nukem 3D. I remember referencing in a notebook exactly where all the boobies were. I was like, I need to find all the boobies in the game. I think this is an important part. Not complete the game, just find the boobies. The most important part of the game. And yet now, it's everywhere. It's just all over each game. Especially the stuff coming from Japan. It's all this anime stuff. It's pure filth, pure unfiltered filth. I'm not moaning. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I had a friend of mine recently who said to me, "Oh, I've got an AI girlfriend." And I said, "What do you mean an AI girlfriend?" He said, "Yeah, I've got this AI girlfriend on my phone." And he showed it me and he said, "Here, try. Um, you can have, she's your perfect woman," he said. And I looked at it and it was this anime bird on the screen. And I went, "Oh, what do I do?" And he went, "Just talk to her." So within 5 seconds, she was nagging me. So that just shows the There you go. I was immediately getting my ass handed to me by this bird on the screen. Why was I going to show you the screen? It's my hand. But yeah, that was so. What the fuck is this AI girlfriend? And he was happy with it. He was like, "Yeah, we're having a great relationship. She doesn't like you. She's having a right go at me." She's like, "Have you not done the? Have you not done the washing?" He was having an erotic affair with her. Within 5 seconds, she was kicking my ass. So yeah, there you go. That's just one of those things. But yeah, I just wanted your views on it. I think the censorship system has completely upended, and we now have this idea of as long as we follow the guidelines of being inclusive, fuck everything else. We can just do anything, especially with the birth of social media. We can show whatever we want. Um, I think I've said it before, going back to pornography. When I was a kid, there was one tape, and that tape was probably someone's dad's tape that they found down the back of the cupboards, and they brought it to school and handed it around for everybody to borrow for the night. So it was this spunky spunk tape that was literally just a black tape, and you turned it on. It was just some really bad 70s porn that was tracked to fuck. Deinen Schlutenflagen und ein Spunken ins my Fogen. And you'd sit there and go, "Fuck me, I just have about 70 wanks over this." And the one sock would have to be thrown away because amazingly you couldn't find the other one. You can't flush a sock. I've learnt this much. But today it's so accessible. You go on your phone, any phone, go onto Google, and you just type boobs, and you're away. Apparently, maybe, possibly. I wouldn't know. I've never typed that, not once. Big bazongas, milk sacks, titulations, chesticles, beef bags. Fucking beef bags. But yeah, it's one of those things. And then, but obviously, it's not that way. There's this idea of when it comes to gore, we have that. But I've seen it more in TV shows now. They show more stuff. What did I watch recently? And I was like, "Fuck me, that's really gruesome." I think my wife was watching something. I think it was like Banshee or Sons of Anarchy or something, and it was really gory. And I was like, "Shit, that's next level." Um, Hellboy, the new Hellboy film. Um, yeah, the one with what's her face, Mia Djokovic and all that. Yeah, 2019, a couple of years old. And there's like a scene where humans are being ripped to shit, and I'm looking at it going, "This is a Marvel film." Deadpool. Deadpool is a Marvel film, so kids are going to go, "Oh, Marvel." I mean, probably the goriest film I remember when in Marvel was probably Blade, and that was, yeah, it's just crazy how certain things are moving in this direction of you can do whatever you want, just don't say whatever you want. No, you dirty boy, you're not allowed to say things are gay, for example. That used to be the great one. What's gay? Let's think of something that's gay right now. Me speaking into a tiny little black penis, there you go, is probably slightly gay. What was it? Was it? Oh, I know. Here one. Continental breakfast. Yeah. You have, excuse me, sir, would you like a breakfast? Yes, please, I'd like a breakfast. Brilliant. So we've got English breakfast, full English, or we've got a continental breakfast. Oh, what are the differences, please? Well, sir, continental breakfast. Full English, you have sausage, egg, bacon, friend, fried bread, black pudding, beans, mushrooms, toast, hash brown, tomatoes and mushrooms, sir. Ah, okay. What's the continental breakfast? Yes, sir. It's a croissant, sir. It's a croissant. Oh, well. Give me the croissant. No problem, sir. Would you like me to come on it as well? You fucking queer. You know, you're not allowed to say gay things like that anymore. You're not allowed to do that anymore. But it is true. I find censorship strange. I find it a very strange animal to play around with, to have a fondle of the bollocks while it's standing having a graze. I'm sneaking up behind it. I'm grabbing its meatballs and I'm going, and I'm exploring it to find out what's going on. I have absolutely no idea what I said before this. I'm just concentrating on a bull's balls now. I have absolutely no idea where we went with this. What were we talking about? Exploring something? I was just thinking about no, just bollocks. I was thinking about bollocks now. Bulls bollocks. I can't remember what I said, but yeah, for censorship for me, I find it really strange. Like I said, when I was a kid, the idea of anything adult related was just, it was a game. It was a video game. You know, it was Mario. It was, I think the most violent game I had was this game called Cyborg something, for the Mega Drive, and it was robots, but it was very much like Street Fight. Excuse me, a little bit of Windy Pops. Streets of Rage, but with, was this Cyborg Justice? I want to say Cyborg Justice. And the reason why it was so gory was because you ripped the other robot's arm off and you could use it as a weapon. I found like, well, that was the gayest fucking thing I've ever done. There's another gay thing, that. Another gay thing would be ordering the filet fish at McDonald's. I think that's quite gay as well. Come on. Excuse me, what would you like to eat? I'd like the filet of fish. That one. Yes, that's been there for 4 weeks. We haven't saw. You really want that one? Yes. I want the filet of fish, please. Bit gay. You wouldn't say that at McDonald's, but it is true. Yeah, but they. What else is gay? Me. I don't give a shit. Actually, funny enough, talking about gay things today, I'll just go off on a tangent. There was a guy today. I went to this thing, this customer service thing, where like it shows you how you should treat people. The only way I want to treat some of my customers is take them out the back and fucking set it up like hostel. Fuck them up. Let's do my fucking head in. But apparently we're supposed to learn how to do it properly. So customer services, yeah, was doing the thing. And there was somebody went, oh, Phil, meet this guy. And this guy went up and went, pleasure to meet you. And I've worked in places where a handshake is important. I used to work for a Swedish company, and you fucking shook hands. They broke your hand. You learned to, it was like fucking arm wrestling, but formally. And this guy kind of handed me his hand like that. And I kind of went, and I kind of held it like this. And I thought, what are you, a princess from medieval times? Give me your fucking hand. And I grabbed his hand and I shook it like this quite violently and went, nice to meet you, mate. It pissed me off. It's the gayest thing ever, is a man with a limp wrist. Guys, if you are young, if you've never worked in any kind of business or anything like that, this is my advice to you. Shake fucking hands. I swear to God, you work most places and you shake someone's hand like a fucking man, you've got the job. You've got the fucking respect to that guy. You fucking give them your hand like this, you've got a blow job. Did you owe them? Okay, you are going to be reaming them in the car park in 2 minutes time, because that's all you're worth. Shake their fucking hand, sort yourself out. Hand like this, Grip, fucking shake, you cunt, and then walk away. Don't do this shit. Okay? I hate this, and there's more of this these days. Good God. I want to slap him up the face with my dick, show it what it fucking feels like. Fucking twat. And then do a weird kind of alien slurp. But yes, what were we talking about? Yeah, violence in games. I don't know if this video even makes fucking sense. I've just waddled on for 20 minutes. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about violence in games? Do you think it's got out of hand? Do you think it's next level? Do you think it could possibly come back down again? Do you think that we should maybe censor some stuff? Um, are we really kind of monitoring games with kids these days? Back in the day, if you wanted a GTA, you had to go to the store, and most stores would go, ID, mate. And you go, oh, fuck. Fine, leave it alone. I'll have, I don't know, the Mary Kate and Ashley video game. But now, with like, you've got like Game Pass and the PlayStation Network, it's just there, isn't it? They just download it. Doesn't ask them for anything. They've paid their 15 quid or 12 quid or whatever it is to access it. Fuck it. And you've got stuff like Outlast, which is just horrendously gory and scary and horrible, but it's trending all over YouTube at times. And you've got this body cam. If it's on there, kids will download it and play it. They don't give a shit. So I do think we're heading in a wrong way. But remember, as long as you don't say anything naughty, then you're going to be okay. I want to wrap this one up. I just wanted to have a bit of a rant about games, to be honest, about the state of play. I'm not bothered about gory games or violent games. I just think it's quite strange that we had so much censorship back when graphics were shit, and now they're really good. We have barely any censorship now. I barely see any games kind of get cancelled off. In fact, the more hype, the better. Um, but that Stellar Blades bird's a bit all right, isn't she? Fuck me, it's like Bayonetta, but yeah, all right, yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't played it yet, but I've been told it's very interesting. I've seen a bit of footage, certain videos that have focused on certain parts of the graphics, which yeah, I forget what that part of the body is called between the genitals and the arsehole. It's that little bit there. Is it the cerebellum or something? I've just made that up. But whatever it's called, it's a lovely part of the body on her. She's but yes, thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, but hey, I'm just thinking if there's anything else to say. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. I don't know why I put myself through this. See you in the next video. Bye.